When did your family get a TV set? How early did you?
I remember when TV started to become popular, and a department store would have a TV in a window, and they'd have it on. And the people, the only thing we had was radios, and the only other thing was like something called the crystal set. I don't know if you know anything about that.
Yeah.
Crystal set. My brother had one with headphones like that, where he could pick up the radios, and we'd listen to Inner Sanctum and
Wow.
Fibber Mickey and Molly and all that, and so that was the radio type thing. So we didn't have it. We didn't have a TV. There was a radio station in Buffalo that was running some kind of a contest. If you knew the answer to something, you would, you would win this TV. They promoted it for weeks and so forth, and went on and on and on. And I wasn't aware of any of that. Apparently, my brother was. He was 5 years older than I was. Apparently, he was. And he had listened to the show and so forth. And he wrote down whatever the answer was supposed to be or what he thought it was. So we're both at school. And this fellow from the radio station just came into the neighborhood, and he's going up knocking on doors saying, do you listen? I think it was WEBR. And if you do you know the secret code or something? So the fellow came to the door. My mother answered, and she said, "No, I don't know anything." And they went on to going through other neighbors, and she happened to see this piece of paper or something that my brother had left with the words on it. Mm-hmm. So she went back to the door, and as the fellow was leaving, she called him back and said, is it such and such? And he was stunned, and he said, yes, that's it. You're the winner.
Oh,
You
wow.
won you won a TV set. So when we came home, we were all excited. And then a few days later, they delivered this set. It was a 7-inch Admiral set. That
Wow.
was like huge. So we got the TV set, and everybody in the neighborhood was excited because there was
Yeah.
Boreanaz family had a set. So we set it down, and so we told everybody, come in, we're going to turn it on. And so neighbors come in and we turn it on. And the only thing that comes up is this test pattern, the old fashioned test pattern. If you look, you can find them
With the Indian head.
with that terrible noise, and we sat there and nothing happened. And we said, well, what's the big excitement? There's nothing, you have to wait. So they told us at 4 o'clock, it's going to begin. And the first thing I saw on television was the Howdy Doody show.
Wow.
With the Buffalo Bob.
Amazing.
Buffalo Bob Smith with Clarabelle the clown. And
yeah.
So we all sat there and watched it. And when it was over with, then it went back to the test pattern. that was it. That was the only programming that came from.
Would this have been the early 50s, David? Like 53 or 4 or something?
No, late. I'll be late 40s.
Wow.
I'll be late 40s. Yeah.
Incredible. When did WBEN begin?
They were in the 40s. There was just the one TV station.
Wow.
The Buffalo Evening News owned it, and that was it. They dominated. I would say 46, 47.
Incredible.
Somewhere in
there. There were no stations in Canada till late 52.
Yeah.
And so we Canadians watched Buffalo if you had a set. And tell me this, you can answer this one. WKBW, does that really stand for well-known Bible witness?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, Dr. Clinton Churchill. Yeah, he had this for a number of years.
Pretty ironic, isn't it? Just that the first thing you saw on a television set at your house was a children's show.
Right. Definitely.
Was Buffalo Bob Smith then kind of the blueprint for you, or someone of?
No, I had no ideas of different types of programming, and I had no idea or desire to do a children's show. That never entered my mind.
Wow.